That's why you need to close the shop. You understand? We verify you, we verify the papers of the shop.
The recent resurgence of xenophobic attack in South Africa has once again sparked outrage across African continent. Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Ethiopians, Somalis and other African nationals who are predominantly in the country have found themselves at the receiving end of violence, intimidation and destruction of property. While diplomatic efforts continue between affected countries and South Africa, questions remain about the effectiveness of measures aimed at preventing these attacks and protecting foreign nationals living in the country. Join me as I examine the impact of xenophobia, the responsibilities of both government and the fate of those forced to return home. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on our stories.
No more kwara kwara. No more.
For years, South Africa has struggled with reoccurring waves of xenophobic violence. What often begins as tensions over jobs, crime, housing and economic opportunities has repeatedly escalated into attacks against foreign nationals, many of whom have built businesses and livelihoods in the country. The consequences has been devastating: lives lost, businesses destroyed, and families displaced.
I was on my gate to open the gate. They just rushed me. I leave my car and ran away. So because of those things, I have to leave, honestly. And where we are doing business, next to the MTN taxi rank in Joburg, they close it down. So things are getting... So what I did, I managed to use the police. I get my car back. I sell it off. I didn't even look for the profit or anything. I just give that car away.
My husband died last year, December. Yes, he was shot with gun when he was coming back from home. Fuck. They killed him there.
In a Zoom interview with Honorable Chike Amadichi, Country Director, Diaspora Community Network, DCN, he recounted the xenophobic attacks against Nigeria and other African nationals have been facing backlash, dehumanizing treatment, and in some cases, death. According to him, the attacks have been for a long time.
I was once based in South Africa, so I have a good experience of what has been happening in South Africa, because it has been happening. This is not the first time. I lived there for close to 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years in South Africa, in Pretoria precisely. So I have first class experience of what is almost every year occurrence, or almost every time, because we are hearing this because they came out boldly. The fact remains that xenophobia has been going on in South Africa almost on a daily basis. The South African people, unfortunately, is yet to welcome their fellow African brothers from other African countries. It's not only Nigerians, remember. It's unfortunate that South Africa over the years has forgotten how other Africans rallied around them during their challenging time. During the apartheid time, Nigeria stood by South Africa.
South Africa and Nigeria share strong diplomatic and economic ties dating back to the anti-apartheid struggle. Both countries are among Africa's largest economies and play leading roles in continental affairs. Yet, each xenophobic outbreak puts the relationship under strain. Many Nigerians believe stronger actions should be taken against South Africa whenever such incidents occur.
Nigeria played a critical role to help South Africa come out of the colonial masters, the apartheid. So for me, the Nigerian government needs to look into our bilateral relationship with South Africa. It's very important the federal government of Nigeria look into that relationship to, give a strong wording to them to say, hey, this cannot keep happening. We share a lot in common as two nations, economic-wise, investment-wise, a whole lot is going on. But unfortunately, the citizens is yet to understand what their benefits. No country in the world will independently, build their nation without having other nationals in their country. That's why the word diaspora is in existence, because people leave their country to another country. And when they're there, it's always a win-win, because when they're in that country, they're also helping the economy to grow.
The South African government has repeatedly condemned xenophobic violence and pledged to prosecute perpetrators. Authorities have also launched awareness campaigns promoting social cohesion and African unity. However, critics say these measures have not adequately addressed the root cause of the problem.
Their government needs to step up, because when you put the camera on the president, he will always tell you they condemn the xenophobic attacks, but it's beyond rhetoric. The government needs to act, because I can't see reason why a government institution called Police Force of South Africa will be there in their faces, watching South Africans, looting people's businesses and shops, and police are there watching them. That is totally unacceptable. For me, if the government of South Africa is doing much to stop that, police itself will enforce that to stop. It's unfortunate that the government is not doing much. To be very honest, we have to tell ourselves the bitter truth. Let me tell you, in 2016, 2017, Honorable Femi Bajabamela, then he was the majority leader in the House, the current chief of staff to the president. I'm calling names now to tell you, he led the delegation from Nigeria to South Africa to meet with South African government. I remember we welcomed them in our High Commission in Pretoria. We took them to meet their counterparts in South Africa to talk about the xenophobic. It was purely about the xenophobic attacks that we invited them to come. And we engaged them. Mind you, this is almost 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. The government-to-government engagement to put an end to this unnecessary, I use the word, unnecessary attacks, because I can tell you there is no justification for all of this xenophobic attack in South Africa. None.
Speaking with media analyst Jide Ojo, he said the reoccurring xenophobia in South Africa is due to the inability of the government to provide jobs for its people, adding that South Africa are lazy and would not do the jobs the foreigners do.
It's not the first time that Nigerians in South Africa will suffer xenophobic attack. This has gone for a couple of decades. The intensity every time it happens, it leads to fatalities. The root cause of this is the fact that the leadership of South Africa, they've not done enough to address the worsening unemployment and poverty, as well as rising cost of living in South Africa. So the South Africans believe that these immigrants, many of them legitimately doing business in South Africa, are the prime reason why they are having unemployment and poverty. But the irony of it is that most times the jobs that these immigrants are doing are the ones that South Africans themselves don't want to do, because it's like offer of first refusal. You said you cannot deal in spare parts, you don't know how to do run salon or car wash, and somebody is doing it, providing value for service. Why should you begrudge? The push for xenophobia is due to bad governance or misgovernance or underdevelopment of South Africa.
Through its diplomatic missions and emergency evacuation programs, Nigeria has assisted her citizens affected by xenophobia in South Africa. Yet, many believe more can be done. According to them, successful reintegration requires more than transportation back home.
On a broader scale, at the macro level, government needs to tackle unemployment and poverty, which are the drivers of migration. The reason why people migrate seeking greener pasture is basically because they don't have opportunities that is well paying like that at home. What government can do in the immediate period is to help the returnee with resettlement. If it is to help them pay rent for like 2 years, pay rent of a modest accommodation for them for 2 years, give them seed capital under the micro, small, and medium enterprises scheme, so that those who want to have startup business can start. That for me will be most helpful. For those who are skilled amongst them, who have certificates, if government of their respective states can also offer them jobs, those who have certificates, you can give them automatic employment to mitigate their. So it won't be one size fits all. It will be for those of you who have certificates. I will expect like Imo State government, rather than giving them 1 million, can look at how to absorb them into Imo civil service. Those who want them, those who want to go to civil service, give them job.
Sincerely, I must commend the Nigerian government. I must sincerely commend them, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Dr. Abike Dabiri. I must sincerely commend their efforts. They are working collaboratively, to make sure that they evacuate Nigerians who are willing to come back. Thanks to the government, thanks to the president for making all the necessary provision to get that done. But again, the challenge of this nature is not that is something that will end today, tomorrow. It has always been there. Again, it has always been there. So for me, the government needs to come out with a strong measure. The government needs to come out to spell things out with South Africa to say, hey, I don't know, because why I'm feeling bad is that when leaders meet like this, they have this handshake, they smile at each other, and then behind the scene, a whole lot is going on. Your citizens are killing our citizens, and then leaders will meet. And no, for me, I feel like whenever the opportunity to meet, there should be some sort of strong discussion to say, hey, you need to call your people to order.
As Africa pursues deeper integration through trade, free movement and continental cooperation, xenophobia remains a painful contradiction to the vision of African unity. For many, the solution lies not only in stronger laws and diplomatic engagement, but also in addressing unemployment, inequality, and misinformation that often fuel hostility towards foreigners. Until then, countless Africans living beyond their borders will continue to hope for a continent where nationality is not a reason for fear. In Abuja for True Vision Television, Ebere Anibo.